Hey guys, this is Eckhartsladder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars gaming video. So recently, we've been covering lots of fan games and animations and mods on the channel, and it's something that I really enjoy doing because there are so many super talented members of the Star Wars community that just aren't getting the amount of attention they deserve. One subset of these super talented creators are people remaking classic Star Wars games and frequently remaking them in Unreal Engine. We saw, for example, the Rogue Squadron remake, which was unfortunately ordered to shut down, most likely because of the imminent release of Star Wars Squadrons, but we've also seen several healthy ongoing projects, including the Unreal Engine remake of Pod Racer, and various work-in-progress efforts to recreate games in the Dark Forces / Jedi Knight series. Today, we'll be talking about a Dark Forces 2 remake, but if you guys really like this video, I can also cover the ongoing Dark Forces 1 project because I think that's really interesting. But it's really up to you if you want to see it. Make sure to like this video and let me know down in the comments. Anyway, Jedi Knight is the second game in the Dark Forces series. I personally have some experience with this game in particular. I'm much more familiar with the final two entries because I could play them on Xbox. But although I didn't have a gaming PC, friends of my family did, and I remember going to their place and just playing snippets of this game and being absolutely amazed. I'm planning to stream it for Eckhartsladder eventually, but I've also recorded some footage today just for the benefit of today's video. So the Dark Forces 2 remake is being done by a YouTuber known as Ruppertle. If you go down to the description, you can find links to their channel in the video that I'm showcasing here, but Ruppertle also has a Discord server where he's chronicling the ongoing progress on the mod. So in this first video, we get to see the game in action, and it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. A beautiful recreation of the Nar Shaddaa level, the first level of Star Wars Jedi Knight. The thing that impressed me the most though was not the graphics or the textures or anything like that, but just the degree to which the original game has been replicated here. The enemies, items, objects, everything are exactly where they should be. I guarantee if you hop over the bar and look down, you can find that E11 blaster just like in the original game. And of course, this has all been created from scratch, and if you read the description, you can see that Ruppertle's goal here has been to recreate something as close as possible to what Dark Forces 2 offered in 1997. The enemies seem to behave very similarly, the shooting, despite being much prettier, handles in the same way. The full level will most likely be mapped out to the detail with secrets and everything else, and it's all brought together with, of course, the classic sounds and music. All in all, for this game, I think it's the proper type of remake, faithful to mechanics, gameplay, and level design. And of course, everything's not done at this point. I mean, there are some weapons and power-ups that I noticed missing, but I'm sure those just haven't been included yet, and I mean, it's the same thing where there are plain textures. You know, this was a very much work-in-progress build when the video was made back in 2018, and I didn't mention that yet. This recording is actually from a version of the game that's 2 years old. However, unfortunately, on the channel, we haven't seen much more since then. We've gotten 2 videos, the most recent one 9 months ago. So you might be wondering, is this project dead, or are we getting a full remake of Dark Forces 2 sometime in the future? Well, no, neither of those are actually true. First of all, Ruppertle in the description stated that the intention of this mod is only to recreate the first level of the game, the Nar Shaddaa level. Personally, I think that's a relatively reasonable goal, and I always loved the Nar Shaddaa level when I did get to play it as a kid. It's so cool starting out in just this little corner of this hidey-hole bar in this massive city and having to make your way through all these different places. I also think this is the most likely way that the project doesn't get cease and desisted by Disney, but we'll come back to that in a bit. The mod also isn't dead though, and Ruppertle has, as I mentioned, a full Discord where he's actually chronicling the ongoing development, and I mean, as of recording this, there was actually a new post today where he added a second fire mode for the concussion rifle, he fixed some particle effects, and if you go back, you can see that he's consistently worked on the mod, and this is more than just little changes. This is updating various models, doing textures for different things, fixing animations, working on maps, and whatever else. The biggest update was in October of 2019, and Ruppertle posted that the map was basically entirely finished, although after that we've got posts about him changing some of the geometry and making performance updates. But if you want to actually see things, you can also check out the screenshot channel. Looking at this specifically tells me that the game will have a bit wider scope than initially envisioned, or it will at least have more options than just playing the first level. In this screenshot alone, we see both a lightsaber and stormtroopers, neither of which appeared in the Nar Shaddaa level. But you can also just see pictures of the beautiful interiors, and it's really incredible how far the game has progressed, even just from the version we saw in 2018. Ruppertle mentioned that there will be some sort of sandbox mode, and he's also discussed working on weapons which don't appear in the first level, so it would be really cool if he did go through all of this effort to recreate the basic gameplay, movement, shooting, mechanics, and AI of the original game, then eventually gave us a sandbox to play in. That would be really, really awesome. On that note, I do want to talk about cease and desist, because whenever we do discuss Star Wars fan projects on the channel, that's one comment that I think I rightfully get from a lot of you guys, and to be fair, Disney does have the right to shut down anything that uses the Star Wars IP without permission. So there is the question of whether there's a real harm for me covering this on the channel. And, you know, if I did find a project that nobody had talked about, that had 0 views and was basically being worked on underground, I would not cover it because I don't think it would be responsible. However, this project, as with Star Wars Redemption and every fan project we've covered on the channel, has reached sufficient size that Disney at one point or another, or Lucasfilm, would have taken it into notice. We have seen a degree of selective enforcement when it comes to Lucasfilm's copyright or Disney's copyright, and it seems to be that they're pretty hands-off when it comes to smaller scale games that aren't impacting a current or future sellable product. So we saw Rogue Squadron taken down because it probably interfered with the upcoming Squadron's release, and the creator said he planned to remake the entire game. I mean, he had one level basically playable and near finished. When it comes to the Knights of the Old Republic mod, that's probably a case where the scope of that was just so large they wanted to recreate the entire game that there was a real worry that it would impact Lucasfilm's ability to monetize a game that in the future very well might get a re-release, and that's where I think this game is safe. Unfortunately, I don't see us getting a new Dark Forces game. I don't think we will ever get a Dark Forces 2 remastered. I mean, they haven't even given us really truly compatible Windows 10 versions of the game. There have also long been many modding projects which have attempted to bring Dark Forces 1 or 2 into the Jedi Academy engine, and those have been allowed to progress, so I don't see this being very likely target for Lucasfilm's lawyers. Same thing with the Dark Forces 1 project that we might cover in the future. So a type of sandbox mode would be a cool way to allow us to play with many of the game's original weapons without increasing the scope too much, and I mean, that's good because not only does it sort of keep the lawyers away from you, perhaps, I mean, we can never predict exactly how a corporate entity will work, but it also makes the project a lot more possible for a small team of 1 or 2 people. And on that note, as of right now, Ruppertle is doing a lot of the work for this, although he does have some help, mostly with texturing or models. So guys, that's all I have on this project. Let me know what you think. Are you excited to potentially play the first level, or maybe a couple of levels? I'm not sure how far he qualifies Nar Shaddaa of Dark Forces 2. Do you think this project could ever see a larger scope? Have you played the original Jedi Knight game? Let me know all of that and more down in the comments section. Again, links to all of the project stuff down in the description, and until next time, please be safe, and may the Force be with you.